Hey everybody! So it's pretty awesome. I added the ability to change the dimensions of the spheres and the meshes, and was able to play around and make this totally cool um, thing. It's like so awesome. I can't believe it. Uh, it's pretty. I don't know. It's just kind of like the 10-year-old coder way back in the 70s would have just died to know that I coded something that renders out like looking kind of like a fog and a purple moon and stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, so there's enough of that. Uh, so basically, what this is let me show this in raw data. It's a little easier. So this is a ground, and it's at negative y on the y-axis, and it's 0 and 0. And the way, let me click into there. And basically, it's a cube, but it's got a width of 15th, a height of 0.11, and a depth of 15th. So, like, just kind of visualize what it's doing. Like, if you made this 5, you see it's just kind of a square, but then, add a 1 to it, and it gets deep, and that makes it wide. Um, and then the other, and it's, I believe it's, yeah, it's white. It's just a white Fong material. And then the other one is like I called it the moon, and it's this guy up here, and it's a sphere, and it's 0.31 radius. It's Fong, and it's white as well. So all the coloring is handled by the lighting, and then just go over to the lights and show the raw data, and we have our Y position, our Z position. So we have two lights. One it's red. It's just kind of hanging out here directly underneath there, and then purple, which is like between us, the camera, and this moon thing. Um, so and it's sort of overtaking everything. The red is a little bit because it's just kind of stuck in here. Um, Anyways, yeah. So it wasn't as much code as you would think it is. So basically, the change is that I added the width, height, depth, and the radius. Now, I think the purest of most people that have been developing for a while would want like to have like a sphere interface and a box interface that where the sphere had width, height, and depth with no radius. But in from a practical perspective, what I have found is that a lot of users like to be able to switch back and forth between things, and they generally want their old values to still persist. So if you had a cube that was 111 and you had a radius that was zero point 0.5, and you kind of went back and forth to see what they look like, you'd want to keep your old radius. You wouldn't want it to go back to a default radius. So I think from like I said, a practical perspective, it makes sense to just have them all on one. And I think there'll be like 5 or 6 of these. Um, so I don't think, and I think some of them like cones and things like that will also have radiuses and widths and heights and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of overlap. So I don't think we're going to end up with like 80 new um, attributes on here. But if that was to happen, then yeah, we definitely need to do that. So the easiest change, I believe, was in the mesh. Okay, I had like the name in the mesh interface. So when I added that, when I first added this, I added this shape. I had the wrong. I just copied over the wrong thing, so I fixed that, and I have since removed the little pop up, even though you're still seeing it because I didn't want to lose the cool visualization that I created up there. Um, but basically, if there's a box, we add the fields for the width, height, and depth. And if it's a sphere, we add the radius. So that's pretty simple. And then for the mesh, so the actual TypeScript wasn't too bad at all. Actually, most of the changes was for something else. But basically, I just added these 3 things, made them defaults. The radius probably should be 0.5, but I don't know. We'll see as I use this more. Um, And then I have all this code that I deleted because we don't need any of this. And this actually syncs it up more with the way um, the lights works. This was just kind of a good idea. When I explained it, I thought that this was necessary, but it absolutely is not. And then I added these new width, height, depth, and radius to that. Most of the heavy lifting was in the service, uh, and it was all very contained to the update because um, the I don't know. I might need to go into add and do some stuff. Uh, I don't think so. I think all we'll get is the defaults. But well, yeah. So when we add it, it's 0.5, and then it gets. Oh, okay. So then it's getting updated. So actually, the add. Well, you never even see the added idea because when the form updates, it actually propagates in the air. I mean, it actually calls this update, and it gets whatever was originally there gets overwritten anyways. Might need to revisit that. It's probably a good idea to revisit that. Um, but and probably it's a really good idea to do like an analysis to make sure I'm not like calling um, right at the beginning like 50 times doing an update. Um, but that's probably not even a big deal because it would only happen. It wouldn't actually update the screen except we'd probably call it every single time and then not update the screen. But anyways, I digress. So basically, all the code on this was this box geometry. Uh, basically, so that was an interesting. Do I still have that? So I initially asked ChatGPT how to do this, and I've never seen this before. It said to do this, basically update this width to 2. I said basically, how do you update a box geometry width? And it gave me this, and then gave me a little explanation. And I said, I'm seeing an error that the width is read only. And then ChatGPT apologized for the oversight and said, this is how you do it, which is kind of a bummer because you have to destroy the whole geometry and then dispose it. Well, I didn't have to dispose of it, but I had to destroy. You have to destroy the whole geometry and then re-add it. So that is wild. I would never have expected ChatGPT to give me the wrong answer and then like realize, oh crap, I gave you the wrong answer. But anyway, so this is all I had to do. I also had this code in here, and last time when I got some ChatGPT code, I actually copied everything, and then I was like, I don't actually know if I need these, and I did not. I tested it and did not need it, so I did want to mention that. And so I don't know. ChatGPT, I don't think ChatGPT and AI is ready to start writing code for actual production use, but that's just my opinion. But anyways, I checked to see if the mesh's width was changed, if the user changed that, and then I create, if they made any changes, I create a new box geometry and override it. The reason I don't think we need any of this stuff, extra stuff that ChatGPT keeps pushing, is because I believe this is probably assuming that it's not animating, it's not rerunning the rendering every time. Because if you look at the way that I have set this up, basically on and this was basically inspired or copied from the example that they give on the ThreeJS site. But basically, this animation callback gets called every time JavaScript in the browser tries to update the screen. This code gets added on. It gets called, and as well. And so this renderer is re-rendering the whole screen with the scene in the camera about 60 times a second. Anyways, so I think if it wasn't doing that, then maybe that code that ChatGPT was requiring. But that's it, and happy coding, everybody. Bye.